All right, folks. There's an idiot sitting in the Oval Office. It ain't even close. An absolute idiot. So today, y'all, I saw this and I just thought it was just too hilarious. So a reporter decides to ask the grifter in chief, who is really stupid when it comes to tariffs, what the conservative Wall Street Journal said. And let me help y'all out. The Wall Street Journal is a conservative Republican newspaper. They've always been about Republican policies. It is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who owns the New York Post and Fox News. So here's what the reporter said today that just really set off Donald Trump when he was like, oh my God, this question is just so horrible. How dare you ask? Y'all got the video ready? And it really, to me, is a perfect example of how stupid this man is. Listen to this.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question.
A nasty man talking about what is a nasty question. It really is hilarious to me when you listen to that idiot, and that's really what he is, a complete idiot. Because the question is so nasty. I dare you ask me that question. I don't like how you asked me that question because calling me out because I look like an idiot. Because the question is just it's the nastiest question I've gotten in the past 5 minutes. Because what he really prefers for people to constantly kiss his ass. And so he stands before the cameras and says, oh my God, our economy was dead. Our economy was so dead. The economy was going all over the place. Really, that's interesting. This is the Joint Economic Committee for Democrats. This is, these are actual facts. This is 2021. The U.S. economy improved during Biden's first year in office, first 12 months, the most in 50 years. Job growth, economic growth, retail sales. Oh, the economy grew at the fastest rate in nearly 40 years. GDP up 5.7%. Look at these numbers. Look at that right there. Let's see here. 5.7% on the far right. That's the most since 1984. That's kind of interesting. And this is from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. This is what is crazy. This is also what's amazing. Derek, I'm going to start with you because he's a liar. He's a liar. MAGA, they're pretty stupid. They believe the lies. Anything that fool says that they fall for. And this is exactly what happens. And the fact of the matter is, the economy improved greatly. The United States economy grew faster than any other industrialized nation post-COVID. So it's a lie. Donald Trump is a liar. He's lying when he says, oh my God, the country was dead. We were almost dead. We were dead. It's a lie. He's straight lying. And this is where, if you're a reporter, you should say, well, I'm sorry, you're incorrect because the economy grew at the fastest rate of any other industrialized country. See, they won't do that. So what they do is, and the same thing happens when you see the people go on. I said the other day when Speaker Mike Johnson goes on with Jake Tapper and he asked him about that crypto dinner. Well, I don't know. I was really busy last week, with the House bill. I didn't hear about any of this. Really? You didn't hear about any of this? And then it will allow them to go on and lie. No, you got to shut the lies down.
Roland, again, this is the liar in chief. Right? I mean, someone has a tally thus far, I think documented like 31,000 lies since this dude been in office the first time, 31,000. But here's the bottom line to the essence of your point. Facts and data be damned. They don't care about facts and data. They know 6 months ago the headlines of our economy. Strong, right? Financially solvent. The stock market was a runaway freight train, a bull, if you will. But now the headlines are saying potential recession. The CBO office is saying that this tax cut bill will negatively impact Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. It will reduce the solvency of Social Security. The CBO also says that this is going to increase our national debt, another $4.5 trillion. And so when so we can look at the two bookends, what the headlines were 6 months ago and what they are now. It's just amazing that he says some Saudi prince told him that we're hot, as if he shouldn't know what our state of economy, what the health of our economy.
Well, first of all, let's be real clear. The Saudi king, let's be real clear here, okay? The Saudi king, Candace, I don't believe nothing Trump says. So when Trump says, well, the Saudi king told me, I don't believe that fool. I don't believe that fool at all, because he gonna lie about that. Again, liars will lie. All this man does is lie. That's what he does over and over and over again, Candace. And so when he said, again, everything he said that was a lie. So I don't believe the Saudi king. You got the hottest. The Saudi king will say whatever to make that dumbass feel good.
And listen, even if he had video of it rolling, we'd have to double check and make sure it wasn't AI. We have to double check everything. We don't know these days. Trump acts in a way that anything anybody says secretly or behind closed doors on private phone calls, they all are loving Trump. They're all in Trump's favor. I think that one of the things that's so interesting, as you said, with the Wall Street Journal being a conservative operation, which it has always been, right? Rupert Murdoch's of the world. Here was a paper calling him Taco, right? Trump always changes chickens out. So you got this thing going on where the press is supposed to be his friend. He could not have won any election, as with anybody, but especially not Trump, was not going to win an election without the media being his friends. So number one, he is losing that groundswell of support. And even if he's not, that's what it looks like. Second, you called him Taco. And what do you think about when you think about tacos? Mexicans. I mean, this was just way out of the league. And I think the eighth grader in him, which is what we often see, and how he negotiates, did not like the name calling. Besides anything else, besides him flipping on the tariffs, besides him not getting, the media support, Trump liked to be the leader of the bullies in the 8th grade. And in this taco calling, he lost out. They bullied him into answering a question. They bullied him and now have given him this name that's certainly going to stick. He doesn't want to be associated with anybody that should be deported from the country. He doesn't want anything to do with tacos, anything to do with Mexican, anything to do with anything. So they really got him. And I think that that's where a lot of his angst and his anger was coming from in this press conference.
And again, he's a liar. We can't get around the reality here, Rebecca. This is a massive liar. I believe nothing that comes out of his mouth. If Donald Trump says, oh my God, it's really raining outside, I'm literally going to go to the window and double check. I don't believe anything that fools. If Donald Trump I believe nothing this man says because he will lie about lies.
If Trump said it was raining outside, I'm going outside after my silk press without an umbrella. It's like, come on. Not only is he playing chicken, he's almost like Biff from Back to the Future, where he's kind of a bully but really has no teeth. And so what we're watching is like the tariff hokey pokey. He's saying, okay, I'm going to put 25% on you, Canada. Oh, but I'm going to roll it back to 10% because now you're saying you're going to do reciprocal tariffs. Oh, China, I'm going to go up to 75%. And China's like, okay, I'll raise you 125%. So for someone who's talked about all the winning that he does, and he's a winner and all he does is win, so far I haven't seen any of it. Instead, what we've seen is that the American economy is taking a hit. We're seeing that there's fluctuations on the stock market that shouldn't really be there. And to your point at the top of this segment is, there are real concerns that we're going to have a recession, but it's not going to be a recession from the classical sense of just the economy going through its different cycles, but it's going to be a Trump-induced recession.
And I'm just sitting here watching these idiot MAGA people, and there's no other phrase. I have to call. I remember I was on CNN and I was on Anderson Cooper, John Avlon, Derek, and they were like, he was like, Roland, it's not really smart to call the American people stupid. No, I'm like, well, you're stupid, you're stupid. Okay? And you know who's stupid? North Carolina people who voted for Trump. You know who's stupid? Missouri people who voted for Trump. You know who's stupid? Arkansas people who voted for Donald Trump. Because you know what he's done? He said, North Carolina, you ain't getting hurricane relief. Missouri, oh, you had some destructive tornadoes. Yeah, you ain't getting relief. Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was his chief liar in the White House the first time, begging him. He's like, no, y'all ain't getting relief. These dumbasses voted for him, and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, when the hurricane tornado hits y'all, go to hell, kick rocks. I'm giving you nothing. And these idiots still like, yeah, he's my guy, that's my guy.
Listen, you got to add Georgia to that mix too, Roland. Add Georgia because he declined to give us our $5.5 billion for FEMA for a hurricane that happened last fall. He also negatively impacting our plan in terms of our infrastructure, our electric vehicles charging station, all the federal grant dollars that former President Biden had already tailored to come to Georgia. He already told Brian Kemp, the governor, hey, I ain't sending you your money. So you got to add Georgia to that mix, Roland. These individuals keep kissing the orange butt and getting zero things in return. And this is a transactional president that refuses to do the things that he should be doing. And the last point I would say is this too, though, Roland. You mentioned about the coins, the meme coins, the $5 million per person or $1 million per person. That's extortion. That's extortion. But the Republicans don't want to call it that. right? So the Speaker of the House, I was busy that day. I'm not sure what was going on. Really? This guy's, he's an extortionist. They don't want to call him that. But what do criminals do? What would a 34 felon count criminal would do? Criminals conduct crime. Mob bosses, they conduct crime. And that's what he's doing. He is robbing the American people right before our eyes. This is the greatest heist I ever seen, that even Hollywood couldn't even dream up such a movie as this.
And Rebecca, this is actually how Fox News responds. Let's see. I think we have a leak. Like, it's just like, don't it? I mean, they laugh about this whole deal. That's what I'm telling you.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.